You grab a hose, spray down the line, and try to get out before the next shift starts. Then your heel catches a slick patch of chemical foam and everything goes sideways. Moving waste in the 1950s required raw, constant physical effort. Today, we've replaced the heavy lifting with high-pressure systems and reactive cleaners, introducing a more volatile set of risks that are often invisible to the naked eye. This is the rule of sanitation. Introducing water, chemicals, and intense time pressure into a production environment exponentially multiplies the existing hazards of the facility. To see where these incidents actually happen, we have to map the floor. We can trace the vast majority of severe injuries to 7 distinct danger zones. Surviving a night shift requires looking at the equipment forensically. You have to hunt for hazards instead of just wiping down surfaces. Zone 7 is right under your boots. Wet floors, open drains, and uncoiled hoses produce the highest frequency of recordable injuries in the plant. OSHA Standard 1910.22 requires active mitigation here. That means integrating squeegee workflows to clear standing water immediately and keeping hoses coiled the second the pressure is off. Move over to the mixing station for Zone 6. Pouring a standard bleach over a floor previously treated with an acidic cleaner instantly generates a toxic chlorine gas cloud. Hazard communication standards exist specifically to stop this. You have to verify the safety data sheets before combining any agents, ensuring compatibility long before the chemicals ever leave the storage room. In Zone 5, the danger pushes back. High-pressure washdown wands can easily ricochet off a machine guard, blasting trapped debris and raw pathogens directly into your face. Zone 4 is the processing equipment itself. Wiping down the underside of a conveyor belt while the motor is still energized invites an immediate, catastrophic amputation. The only barrier between a worker and mechanical capture is establishing a zero-energy state. Applying a physical lock and tag stops the motor from turning. Physical hazards are only half the battle. If a worker fails to control the mechanical energy of the facility, their personal protective gear is their only remaining, and often insufficient, line of defense. Zone 3 involves where you place your body. A confined space doesn't have to be a deep sewer. Looking at the exact regulatory definitions in this document, simply leaning your upper body into a vat constitutes a potentially fatal entry. Low-lying areas trap gases. If the oxygen volume drops below 18%, the air itself becomes lethal. Entering these zones requires strict permit evaluation, a dedicated attendant constantly watching the hole, and continuous 4-gas monitoring to ensure the atmosphere remains stable. Zone 2 shifts focus to biological exposure. Compacting trash and scrubbing waste chutes exposes workers to hidden sharps, unexpected needle sticks, and pathogen-rich splashes. Protecting against this requires puncture-resistant gear and strict adherence to bloodborne pathogen protocols. You have to assume every unknown fluid is highly infectious. Zone 1 occurs during the final hour. When exhaustion meets a production deadline, the temptation to skip a lockout step or leave a guard unbolted becomes a measurable threat. This psychological load renders every mechanical safety system in the facility useless. If the pressure to move fast overrides the protocol, the machine guards effectively stop existing. You defend against all 7 of these zones with a 60-second pre-task checklist. It acts as a systemic defense mechanism before you ever touch a tool. First, verify your chemical labels, locate the mechanical energy sources, and confirm your lockout tag placement. Next, secure your physical perimeter. Assess the floor drainage, check your respirator seals and heavy-duty gloves, and physically point out the nearest emergency eyewash station. If any single item on that list fails, or if something simply feels wrong, you invoke stop work authority immediately. Look at your own facility. Which of these 7 danger zones creates the most risk during your shifts? Let us know down in the comments. If you want to learn more about workplace safety and OSHA rules, subscribe to HSE Study.